Welcome, everybody. It's our annual tradition. It's our used to do the show on Labor Day. Now it's our post-Labor Day chat Q&A. Welcome to the show. We just had a bonus show. Look, they're always good. We always say that, but get on the Patreon. It'll be up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/the DLP agenda. Good evening, boys and girls.
Good evening.
What's going on, man?
Thank you to everybody in chat right now, including many of you that really did me a solid today and picked up tickets to the special November 30th.
Hit the
Thank
applause
you.
button. Hit
Yes,
the
real
applause.
quick. Hold on. Let's hit this here. Yes. Hold on. Oh, no, we can't because I have the micro SD with me. It's all right. I'm updating. Which, by the way, speaking of updates.
All right, no applause.
No applause at all.
Hey, old-fashioned. There we go.
There we go. We'll do it analog.
Technology.
We'll get new sound effects. And next week, right there, it's
Mm.
sitting on a table right over there.
I can see it.
The beautiful new DLP neon is here. You paid for it if you're a Patreon member. If you're not a Patreon member, quit being a leech. This thing is incredible, and we're going to hang it up there. But yeah, everybody that picked up tickets for November 30th, 6:30, 9:30, you sent me copies of your receipt and screen grabs and all that. It meant a lot today. We're well on our way to filling this thing up. I think so far we're about half capacity. So
Hell yeah, great
thank you all much. I thank you very much.
And thank you to everyone listening to Track Off, our new episode on the Patreon.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I thank Mike. I think he said 11 out of 10. We'll take that. That's a good
Yeah,
review.
no, honestly, I thought it was good because
I'm very happy about it.
It
Very
brought
excited
back
about it.
some great memories.
It
and
did.
now we're doing, I wasn't as big a Madonna and Whitney Houston fan, but it's still the time, still the 80s,
Yes, it's
the
still
early
nostalgic.
90s.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's still a lot of my high school and college days.
I'm sure you
involved
roller
there.
skated to Holiday at some
No,
point. Yeah.
actually, that was post roller skating. I never roller
Fingered to
skated.
lift
Really?
to tell.
Holidays early.
I did
Madonna.
finger to lift the
Yeah.
tail.
I love Lift to Tell from the At Close Range soundtrack.
It's funny you
Yeah.
say that. Live to Tell is, I don't think it's a #1 song, but it is on my, there's a couple
Okay.
of those. It's
Yeah,
on my
Joe's
list.
prepared.
Oh no, it's
You
on
are
my Mount
super
Rushmore.
ready.
Yeah,
Madonna
yeah. Lift
songs.
to Tell
Live
is
to
on
Tell.
there.
Oh,
Live to Tell's
amazing.
on
Young
there.
Sean Penn, villainous Christopher Walken.
There you go.
Watch that.
I also
movie.
love the song Crazy for You from Vision Quest.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Ariel's asking, what did I miss? Why is Joe in the middle? Is he liable to faint?
So no
It's
matter
closest-
what, we catch it.
Closest
No
to
matter
the
what.
ambulance.
No matter what we
No,
got.
2 weeks ago,
Is that the
Justin.
first question, by the way?
Uh,
Does that constitute
I
the
guess
first-
it is the first question. Yeah. No, Justin, it was a two-man show a couple weeks ago, and Justin was sitting over there, and he does run the board like a maestro, and it is 9 to 5. If
I
you
feel
will.
comfortable over
It's
here.
just his sweet spot. And it just made sense. The guy that knows how to run a board versus someone like Joe and I that has no
That's
idea what the
guessing
buttons
how to
do.
do
Yes.
it. I didn't know where
Right.
the applause button was. That was
Mhm.
about it. Mac just said I'm now in the center because it hides my weak chin, and
Jesus.
that is actually
That's good.
true.
That's so
if
good.
I'm straight
Yeah.
on, look at that.
So's a
And,
nice
yes,
beard.
Yes.
So you
yes.
heard at the outset of this thing, we're going to be doing our Super Bowl picks on this thing.
Maybe
We're
Katie
gonna
will do them in chat because she's not able to text.
Yeah,
I can't
Katie's
do
going to
it.
jump in. She
Mhm.
kind of gave us some hints about some. And yeah, tonight is a tradition that started with Rob and Joe back in
Mhm.
the day, usually Labor Day, but it is a chance for, they call it on Reddit AMAs, Ask
Right.
Me Anything.
Mhm.
They hold up their name, they hold up a picture of themselves,
Like
and it's
it.
just a bunch of people. So tonight's the night. If you ever had any questions, within reason.
Yeah, have some ones already from our social media and from our Patreon. But let's start off Super Bowl picks. Who wants to lead it off? By the way, I don't think we've ever gotten them both right, have we? Have we gotten them both right, but not the winner?
One year I had them both right, and I didn't have the winner.
Okay.
I had the Broncos and the Seahawks, and I had the Broncos winning the
Well,
Super
and
Bowl.
they only
and I
lost
had
by 40 points.
Yes,
That's
and they
okay.
got
Damn.
completely
Got that
destroyed.
shit
But, you
knocked
know.
out.
Mhm.
Justin, lead the way.
I'm going to go this year. I'm going to pick my friend John Mooma's go-to
should write
team
this
in
down.
the NFC. I'm going to go the Philadelphia Eagles are going to match up with your Baltimore Ravens. I
mhm.
love this team. Did anybody see the Gruden preview week 1 of the Ravens? The pairing of Derek.
Yes, I did see that.
Mm.
Derek
Yeah.
Henry and Lamar. I hope he does that for every.
Well, the first time I saw that, I go, "Who's paying Gruden? Didn't he get canceled?" I was
He's back,
surprised.
baby.
He
I
got
was
bounced.
surprised to see
And
him.
do you have
actually.
the Ravens winning? Come
I
on.
have the Ravens winning against the Eagles in a close game. Derrick Henry just runs it down their throat. I think they're going to make up for what they did last year in the AFC Championship game, which was abandon the one thing that worked
Mhm.
every game
That's
all
right.
season long, which was
Mm.
their dominant run. So I think you're going to see the tight ends light it up. I think you're going to see Derrick Henry have another great year, and Ravens win.
I have a Katie pick.
Mhm.
This would be the third time these two teams have met in the Super Bowl, but this will be the first time this team wins. She has the Bengals and the 49ers with
Mhm.
the Cincinnati Bengals winning. You don't
Okay.
like that, Joe, do
Well,
you?
I don't like it because the
Yeah.
Bengals play in the same division as the Ravens. So
Well, she likes
but
Joe Burrow's new
but-
hair.
but she doesn't want to be right either.
Dude,
No, I
women are
get that.
horny
She
for
wants-
Burrow.
Yeah.
She's just predicting that. She's a bigger Ravens fan than I am.
There's somebody you hear 3 times a show on JSS that has the steamed green beans for a one Joe Burrow.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Tony
Hair
Thornton.
show. That's exactly it. Yes, he checks in, and man, oh man, I sure do love those shoulders.
Joe, what do you got?
This is gonna come as a shock to you.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens versus the Detroit Lions. And I have the Baltimore Ravens winning the game.
Okay.
I hit that wrong button. Sorry. Baltimore Ravens winning over the Detroit Lions. All right. Here's my pick. Good news, bad news, Ravens fans.
Okay.
I don't think Thursday night's going to go well. I think they got too many new people. I think Kansas City notoriously starts off strong. And I think they're going to lose the opener. But
Really?
the opener is the fucking opener. The game you want to win is the last
The
game.
closer.
That's the
The
one.
last game.
The last game of the season is pretty important.
I think Kansas City, the 3P becomes too much. They fade at the end. The Baltimore Ravens defeat the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
I'd love to see that.
I don't think you've picked the Ravens yet.
I've never picked the Ravens. And hey, they haven't won since we've been doing that. So I
Yes, you've-
finally
you're
am doing
correct.
it. Yes.
2 blue collar towns.
Mhm.
Who's QB1 for Green Bay?
That
right
would be
now?
Jordan Love.
Yeah,
Just signed
okay.
a big fat contract.
You think you're? Do you think Russell Wilson makes it to the end of the year as quarterback for Pittsburgh?
I do
I-
not.
I
Think they
do
have
not.
Fields in by.
I think both are going
bye.
to suck. I'm so
Yes,
tired of
yeah, I
Pittsburgh
don't see
winning
those-
9. Oh, it's another non-losing season while going 9-8. Imagine caring about that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't really have an opinion since I was fired from the pregame.
Oh, that's
show.
true. Yes.
Like when
Yes.
Dalton was heading up Cincinnati, and they would
Mhm.
always just make it to the playoffs and do nothing.
Hey, I got some questions from our socials.
All right, what do we got?
Let's
Yes.
start off.
Start to send
I'm going to
them in
start
here
with
and
a
we'll go back.
super just ridiculous one.
Okay.
Okay.
Eric Diaz, shout out. Once you go white, you'll still be tight t-shirt at the Ravens game. 2-part question. Justin, do you still get a boner when you're taking a big poo? And was this passed down from your father? If so, will you and Evan have a talk one day? I've never ever heard of the phenomenon, so I'm speculating it's hereditary.
Okay.
Do you want to speak on this?
Eric is half right.
Okay.
There was a time. Oh man, I wish this was Patreon. This is a Patreon question.
Is it a Patreon question?
Yeah, but
Do you wanna
we
save it for
promised,
Patreon?
So we will. No,
We didn't say we'd answer. They said they could ask anything.
Well, there something used to happen when I would go to the bathroom.
Okay. Did this really the thing that would happen?
Yeah, I mean that's what he's referencing.
Okay.
I wouldn't get an erection,
It would
but
be a
what
hard thing to make up.
What would happen was because it's imagine trying to go and we apologize for disgusting.
Should
nature
I
of
have
this
not
here.
waited? I should have waited later for this, I guess.
We're here. We're walking this brown path. Yeah,
It's your opener.
Yeah.
I would bust during a dump
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Without any.
All right.
without any.
Hey, this could be the whole show.
It
We may
would-
not get it.
yeah. There was
Okay.
there were certain times.
Would you know what was about to happen?
Okay, I'll give you even more of a backstory.
Yeah.
Do you know what
I
happens
mean, we're going to need a
when you
backstory.
abuse opiates? Is you get real
Yeah.
dry,
Okay.
large turds,
Mhm.
and those things would just
Not a selling point.
no,
Ugh.
but they would torpedo past the prostate
Oh, I got
inside in such a way that I'd be like,
you.
huh.
Oh,
and
and its hardness and thickness would mimic a penis.
Tay Diggs, and exactly what I was thinking, Derrick Henry, and I would look down in the toilet every now and then, and there'd be number 3, and
Yeah.
it would be all of it.
Oh boy.
And it to the point where I actually
Now-
went and saw a physician about it. who
What did they
referred to-
say?
They said you do have.
They
an-"
said you won the lottery.
Yeah, I was like, wow, good for you.
Congratulations.
You actually have
Yeah.
my job now. You
Yeah.
run this hospital now. Here's your stethoscope and your
Can I,
lab coat.
before you
Yeah.
keep going, if somebody said, "Would you like to have that?" I'd be like, "Yeah."
It wasn't, but it wasn't like a full blown like. No,
Right.
it was just like, oh shit.
It
And
seems like a lot of wiping you're going to be doing from
Right,
two
but
different.
you're already
Yeah.
there in the
Okay.
place where it's
Yeah.
the
All
most
right.
can be the papers there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to combine those two things. I like them both separately for
Yeah.
my different reasons. It's both the
I
relief.
call it the super soaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever then it become like a Pavlov dog thing where you would then bust and then shit?
Right in the middle of
Yeah.
having sex with some poor
I
woman.
can see where that could be a problem.
Yeah,
That
unless
would-
you're in
yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
The other way
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
is way worse.
It's much worse.
No clue if it
much
happened to my
worse.
dad.
But-
I pray it
Yeah.
doesn't happen to my son.
But also, you're not.
I'm not even nearly.
Turgid.
No,
Yeah.
it's Aldon.
All right.
It's got some body in it.
When you're going,
El dente.
you're like,
Is it al dente or al dente?
I think it's el dente.
El dente?
It doesn't
El
matter.
dente?
Poo dente.
Poo dente?
I know what you mean.
Show
Jesus,
title.
show title.
It's disgusting.
All right,
But yeah, I mean, how impossible would that be to sit down to have what we call the long stay? Completely hard. It'd be impossible because you
Yeah.
can't do the two without the one.
No,
so
you
you'd
can't.
be splashing it up. No. So
I will say this. I there's a guy I think it's public knowledge that a guy that I was on air with one time, Kirk McEwen, said that a lot of times he goes to the bathroom and he only number twos. And I said, I don't think
impossible.
I don't think
It's
That's
impossible.
I don't think I've ever done
impossible.
that.
No.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I
You are
do
going-
think it's impossible.
Maybe even if it's not a lot of number one,
It's
you're getting a little
something.
drip.
Absolutely. You're
Yeah,
down there.
not him.
It knows that
He's
you're
like-
right there.
No, it's like we
Yeah.
got to get rid of all of this.
Right.
He's like Oscar.
Yeah.
Sometimes Oscar just number
All right.
twos.
Just
Chat,
number twos.
Hold
Good for
on,
him.
Chad. We'll catch up. But Alex Emery, did Joe ever get rid of the furniture Gramps built out of stolen lumber from his neighbor's
Wow,
house?
that is a good
Whoa.
question. So, luckily, my father says he can't find the show. He doesn't know how to listen to it.
good.
Good.
Okay.
And may he never.
It's by the way, it's the same place it's always been.
He doesn't have any idea how to
Okay.
get to it. But I will say, before I tell this part of the story, my father told me when I visited him the last time that he's now using each K cup twice.
Mm.
Okay, yes.
So he
Like
That
it.
second
Full
cup of coffee,
is
weak.
And then he puts it back in
Ugh.
and he makes a second cup of coffee. But no, and there's a little bit of guilt. So I think I've said this on the air here before. My father, he thought that every single item in his house had importance.
Okay. That's hoarder behavior.
He's like, what happened to this? What happened to my grandmother's cane? What happened to that pair of shoes? What happened to this picture? What happened
Well,
to that
I
iron?
threw it out because it was
What happened to
trash.
that brick?
Yeah.
I go everything. And so we started thinking, all right, we'll have an estate sale. And if anybody's
How
in
much
there
did the cane go for?
Yeah.
is ever in this position, eventually we just got a dumpster. We just threw his entire life into a dumpster.
We had an estate sale and you just
Yeah.
hand him $200
Right.
you all chipped in.
Yeah, he
That's
gave
what
his
we
teeth
ended
away.
up
Yeah.
doing. Now, had we instead had an estate sale,
Mhm.
that furniture made out of the stolen lumber from Steve Phillips's house.
Yeah, shout out Steve
Shout out
Phillips.
Steve. Is worthless.
Worthless.
It's
okay.
the ugliest shit you've
Yeah,
ever seen.
I believe you.
It's
Yeah.
made out of siding.
I totally believe
not
it's
kidding.
shit furniture.
It's
Yeah.
made out of the siding from his house, and then he bought a piece of wood to put on top, and I guess he
Okay.
it wasn't like this.
Okay.
It didn't
No,
look like
no,
this.
it wasn't
This
this
isn't
spot.
Amish
This
craftsmanship.
is
No,
Some
no,
shit.
it
No, this
wasn't.
is
Yes,
all right.
Like
no.
IKEA sturdy.
Speaking of Gramps, Moku Mika Pilot
What's up, bud?
on Patreon, a fuck Mary Kill, resurrected Jeremy Woodworth,
Okay.
Gramps in his prime, Chris Restivo, but he's built like Kurt Angle.
Okay.
Kurt Angle is a former gold medalist wrestler and professional wrestler. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just have Jeremy Woodworth as his regular self.
Yeah, he's
Jeremy.
resurrected.
I'm not fucking him.
Or
Okay,
marrying him.
okay, first of all-
I got to kill him again.
Okay, you say that, but if Chris Restivo's built like Kurt Angle, he's doing the fucking.
Yeah.
So,
And I also
I don't
can't-
want that.
I also can't fuck my own father.
You can't. Are you going to marry
I guess
him
I
or
have
kill
to
him?
marry my
You
dad.
can kill him.
No, I'm not going to kill him.
Okay.
Not he's in his prime.
You're right.
It's not this guy now.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
you
right.
made a good point.
It's-
Actually, Rob
But
has
when
sold
was
me.
his prime? He's 11.
Yeah. Jeremy and I might watch some similar horror films and play
Yes,
games together. A man built like Kurt Angle, but with the severe learning disability of a Chris Restivo,
Yeah.
is just going to be a goddamn orangutan.
Yeah.
So he's got to die.
Okay, he's got to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry Gramps in his prime.
So you're marrying
Mary
Gramps
and
in
I'm
prime.
marrying
Gramps in his prime. He was out there.
Yeah.
He was doing the
He's
insurance.
working,
He was out in the inner city,
making his kids rake
meeting
leaves.
sexy black women.
Hell yeah.
And
Give
you're
him-
having
feeding them to me.
sex with Jeremy Woodworth? I don't.
Yes.
That's going to take forever. I
It,
don't-
no, it's fuck, not fucks. It's one
Yeah,
time.
fuck one time.
Yes.
And then
I
we get to play
know,
Pac-Man. Yes.
But how are you going to
Eric
be
gets
there?
his brother back. All I have to do is just have sex with him. What kind of friend are you?
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe I'll flip Jeremy and and Gramps. Maybe I'll have sex with a smooth, beautiful Gramps. And
Yeah.
I marry Jeremy
All
for
right.
his
Yeah.
personality.
Either way, it's went lose. Keeping it in your family. Joe Max says, "What do you miss most about super producer Robbie?" We should have Robbie back on.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a while. We
Yeah.
need to do Robbie update
I
for the end
will
of the
say
month.
this. Yeah, we got to do that. Robbie would come in with some banger stories.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
I miss him dating a girl for 6 months, breaking up with her,
Yeah.
dating a new girl 18 hours later.
Yeah, Robbie would come in with some banger stories, and he also, which we don't have this now, but Robbie would get us guests. back
He
in the
did.
day.
Robbie would get us guests.
He would put work in to get us when this thing was worthless. When there wasn't $1
they're
to be
still
made.
together, right? The fiance.
They're
Everything's
still
going
together.
strong.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything's going great.
When Robbie got out of the dating scene and found lifelong love, I was like, I mean, I still love Robbie, but dating Robbie was the stories. I mean, he broke up with a woman because she got a tummy ache.
Yeah.
I love that. I had such respect for that. Just to throw a woman out to sea for the most petty shit.
Somebody said a great line when I had the video of you trying to get into the tube and falling.
Yeah.
It said it was that the girl that Robbie dated that would fall down.
Yeah, Bahare. That was her name. Yeah.
All right, Chad, I'm way behind. So just start your questions over. And I can scroll back and try to get
scroll back
some
and
here.
try to grab.
Here, I'll scroll back a little bit.
All
Here
right.
we go. Tommy says, Joe, can we have an update on the friend from the apartment with the woman the night she went missing?
Yeah. So if I believe,
I'm going to give a quick recap of the story.
Yeah, the recap is my buddy, I went over to visit him. He had a bunch of stuff that was sitting there on his wall. It looked like bags of clothing. There was a basketball. There was a flat screen TV. And I go, whose was this? And he's a girl that he had living with him. One day, she said, hey, I'll be right back. She was still in her pajamas. She walked out the door and she never came back. And he said, that was 6 months ago.
Yes.
That shit was still there.
Yes.
She went on walkabout.
And
she went on a vision quest.
And he found out that she was incarcerated.
Oh, that's probably the safest place for her.
No shit.
Yes.
3 hots in a cot under the care of the state.
Yes.
That's actually good because we were theorizing she might have, because of a lifestyle she led, that shit ends dark sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a true crime.
Luckily, she was in jail.
Okay, good.
Catching up, Brittany says, will you have a threesome with Ariel and I? Yes, I will.
Yes, absolutely.
I made that question.
Hold on, to who? What was
I
that?
made that up. Ariel says, rank the breads. Texas Roadhouse rolls, Red Lobster biscuits, Olive Garden breadsticks. That's a good question.
Okay, bottom tier Olive Garden breadsticks. Olive Garden breadsticks are fucking drywall. No, they're shit. They're salty.
I think that's the third one. I love all breads, but the first two, God,
Texas Roadhouse rolls and cheddar bay
I'm gonna
biscuits.
go, for me, Roadhouse 1, Roadhouse 1, Red Lobster 2,
okay,
Olive Garden 3.
Justin.
God, I'm torn. What a great question.
It's a great question.
You know what it is?
Ariel.
The versatility of the Roadhouse roll, because a cheddar bay biscuit is on its own. You're not partnering up with anything. You're not making little sandwiches. That Texas Roadhouse bread, it's great on its own. It's great with butter. It's great with like a piece of steak.
It's easier to eat
mashed
multiple
potato,
too.
multiple of. Yeah, I'll go the same ranking.
They'll also
Roadhouse,
give you
Red Lobster.
some like honey butter.
The honey butter is awesome.
I agree. It's literally the order that you asked it. Then we're all on the same.
Dude, some of those Olive Garden breadsticks are dry and shitty. You play drums with those things. Sticky Nicky says, Justin, what's your family Halloween costume theme and how much convincing did it take for Mudge? You want to see my costume?
Yeah.
I'll show you right now.
Coming up.
I am loving it. I've already got this.
When do you decide this? It's like
usually around March.
Yeah, we're less than 60 days away.
Yeah, so this is showing up actually in a couple of days, and I cannot wait to sneak into Evan's room and scare the shit out of him in that.
That's terrifying.
That is the xenomorph from Alien.
Nice.
And I've convinced Mudge she's going to go as one of the characters, and she's going to have some sex done to her that night. A character that I'm beyond horny for.
Newt.
Joe, she's a child. Private first class.
Newt's now grown up.
Newt's all grown up.
No issues.
No issues whatsoever. She's fine. She was just trapped in a garbage chute while acid aliens.
That wouldn't fuck you up.
But she's going to dress Mudge as one of the colonial Marines.
Okay.
The woman that had the big chain gun that laid down cover fire while Hicks and the rest of them got the fuck out of there. The issue is, please.
I was going to say something like that. What's that run you?
It wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
It was a couple hunch. But it's going to look nice.
Do you keep it forever?
I got a whole treasure trove of shit.
All right.
What a big thing we're dealing with, though, is trunk or treat. Now, a couple weeks before Halloween, we're doing trunk or treat. Every year she has in the parking lot of the bakery that she works at. And every car has a theme. Someone does Halloween. Someone does Spider-Man. Someone does last year we did Mario. So, I mean, I built over the course of weeks.
Do you have a party?
It's in a parking lot for kids to do the trunk or treat, and they walk around, and a band plays and all that
You
stuff.
explained that.
Did I show you what I built last year for this thing? This sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
It can be fun. If I let it be fun, then I don't turn into the cunt that I can be. Sorry about the Patreon, anybody that listens to it.
Yeah.
It really is a good time. So this was last year.
I think you
hold
passed
on.
it.
Did I pass it already?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Is that right there?
No, that's Robert
No.
Downey Jr. drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on.
Good
This is
costume.
shit. Here it is. So I built Peach's castle from Super
Okay.
Mario Brothers
You
64.
built that?
Yeah, just a bunch of like cardboard and
Okay.
a bunch of construction paper, and
You
we got
did all
this-
that brick? You did that?
that was I got wrapping paper that looked like brick,
Okay.
and I just stretched it out.
Okay,
That's all. That's all brick wrapping paper that I wrapped it with. So, yeah, her and I built that over the course of a couple of weeks, and there she is as Princess Peach, and I went as
Nice.
Donkey Kong, all that shit. So this year we're doing a Christmas theme. But my idea was like, it's going to be a Christmas theme. Her mom and dad are going to be Mr. Claus, Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus, and Mrs. Claus. But I just want people from various Halloween films.
Yeah.
So her sister,
We have
and-
some costumes.
I love them. Her sister and brother-in-law are going to go as the Cranks from Christmas of the Cranks.
Christmas of the Cranks.
I get to be John McClane. So
Oh,
I'm going to
hell
be
yeah.
out there
Yes.
with an MP5, bare feet.
You've done it
walking across
before.
sugar
You're gonna
glass.
wear a wife beater.
Ho ho ho!
no
Now I have a
shoes.
machine gun too.
You're gonna do the line, the Hans Gruber line.
Probably yippee ki motherfucker, hand a kid a Snickers.
Right.
So it's
Now, where
trying
you
to
chant,
get.
you'd say all the qualifications. Of
Oh
the
my
100
God! From the
yes.
script.
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh,
Calling back to our murder mystery.
holy
yes.
shit! God, if I
Yes.
can remember that speech, if I can go
Stanford MBA 1997.
And
father
father.
of fall. If I can get a Hans
Yes.
Gruber out there, I
Yeah.
will. It's just trying to get everybody.
Mhm.
I want there to be a Yukon Cornelius. I want there to be a Rudolph. I want there to be this character Knights from a game called Christmas Nights. And
Bad
there's like
Santa?
15 of us. Bad Santa's brilliant.
But
I didn't
you're
think about
gonna have
that.
to be. Are you gonna be the one to go? Here's what you're gonna organize all this shit.
Mudge and I both.
Okay,
Yeah. So we were
Okay.
like, we just after a while when people are dragging ass, we just start assigning people.
I got
shit.
you.
So
I have a
You're the heat
question.
miser.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's take a break. We'll hear from our sponsor. When we come back, Nikki has a question. Staying with your family, Justin. Be right back. Nikki on our Instagram says, "Does Justin still have 100 pinholes in his wall behind the artwork?"
Yes, I do. They're still there, and they will not be filled in to the day I sell that house, or it burns down. It
Yes.
collapses around me. So yes, I still have 100 pinholes in the wall from our New Year's celebration, where Evan got to pick an exciting new activity every hour from noon until midnight. Some of which involved me going to the store repeatedly. So that was a
That's
great
fun.
time. One of my greats.
William says updates on Restivo situation on what set off his IG rampage. Check out the Patreon.
Yeah, go to the
Patreon's
Patreon.
going to be real nice.
Brittany says, "Is it hard being the best podcast group out there?" It actually is hard.
It's difficult,
but
giving
we do
people-
it for the people.
Thank you. And
We
for your
love
money.
to do it.
Okay. If you
Yes.
don't pay for
Mhm.
anything, you mean less than nothing to me. I'm not going to speak for these two, but if you're not a Patreon member,
Yeah,
I would
go
gladly
fuck
throw you
off.
into a
Yeah.
fucking volcano. But for those that actually do buy the best deal in podcasting, $5, patreon.com.
You keep
Seriously.
getting more.
Slash the
we
DLP
keep
agenda.
adding and not raising the price.
Yeah, I don't
the
even think-
opposite of what's going on in the
We're
world.
giving you more
Yeah.
and the price never
Right.
change. It's like the Costco hot dog of podcasting.
Yes.
It's always $1.50.
Except now you get like 5 hot dogs.
We get so
Yes.
many hot dogs.
Hey, Moko Muki also had another question for Justin and I, because you don't do stand-up anymore, I guess, Joe. What's your biggest challenge when trying to come up with new material for a show that doesn't feel like a riff on something you did before? It's a good question.
I didn't understand that one part. Does it feel like a riff on something you did before?
It's not. You're not repeating it. It's not basically it's a new joke, but it's the same topic. It's like
I get you. Okay.
it's like, because I'll fall into that. Like, I'll have this is a new joke, but can I do it? Or
And
'cause I have-
also do another joke that's
It's similar.
like
Yeah,
you,
it's almost
you
too
dated
much.
a black woman. That's an
Yes.
interesting topic.
Yeah.
So how many different ways can I face it?
Right.
There's 1,000 ways to approach the same topic. I mean, the big chunk of the beginning of my special is me having kids,
Right.
which is the most generic of all topics. But I find my own personal angles, because there's an angle that Rob Mayer will come up with that somebody else would not have. It's individual
Yeah.
to the person. I mean, you could still make a joke about airline food that's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Or you could have some crazy twisting Mobius strip meta bit that makes no sense whatsoever. It's just because different doesn't equal better.
Yeah. Well, I think I need to start, and I've thought about this. Like, I need to start just talking about my life more. Like, because I do, a lot of the relationship jokes I used to tell, I still tell, but now it's set up that
In the
we were
past
together
tense,
and we
yeah.
broke up. She used to we did this, that. And I should, like, the main reason I should date girls is for new jokes, really.
Sure.
Shit,
But
yeah.
I also can talk about what is it like to be single at my age, not have kids. There is like,
It's wonderful.
I do feel like all the friends, all the husbands in the group, they're all pretty jealous of me.
Sounds like heaven.
Right? They were jealous of me when I was broke. So, and now I actually have money. So
I'd skin you
yeah,
to wear your
yeah,
face.
You're
so-
golfing,
right?
You're eating great food.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Whenever I want. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I should talk about that. And like, I guess the downside is you'll die alone, but then you'll be happy the
Yeah, but
previous
you'll-
85 years.
Yeah, the other 85 years.
Exactly,
Like, don't
yes.
you want somebody there when you're dying? Like,
Mhm.
there'll be doctors. There'll
Yeah.
be doctors.
Speaking of ideas,
No, stranger's fine.
Yeah.
Jared Wilson said, would it be tacky to pitch a murder mystery idea?
No, never.
And how
Please.
tacky would it be to pitch an idea to you guys? Okay, here's the thing.
We'd love to hear it.
I'd love to hear a murder mystery idea, but go ahead and just write the whole thing. You don't even need
No,
to pitch an
I'm
idea.
a
Just
control
hand-
freak.
Just
I-
hand us a completed
No,
script.
the last time someone else, the idea didn't really start organically. It was the superhero homicide. And
Who started the superhero homicide?
No, it was Tommy's idea. It was a
Oh,
great
it was?
idea.
It was
and then-
it was during the
Right.
rise of the
Right.
MCU
Yeah.
back when that still meant.
By
a
the way, we all
thing.
love the idea.
No, it was
So
great.
yeah,
No, the idea made sense in the time that we
Right.
did it.
Here's
I mean,
a question
we get
real quick.
podcast ideas on Moku
Yeah.
real quick. Texan, he's a former video game journalist. He's going to join us on an episode of Dork Dynasty.
Hell
coming.
yeah.
So no, we love ideas.
Yeah.
We love ideas. Not
Do
guaranteed
you
to use 'em.
remember the song that we danced to in Superhero Homicide?
Don't.
Do you remember the song
God,
that we
no.
danced to?
We did have a run where we were always doing a dance, and I was
Mhm.
so bad at it. I don't. No, is it The Greatest American Hero?
That's
Oh,
correct.
Yes.
shit.
It
Good
was a
pull.
theme
Believe it or
from
not,
the Greatest
which,
American Hero.
If you remember last year, because on Spotify they give you your most listened to
Yes.
tracks, and that
And it was
was
that.
on mine.
Yes. I got
because
another
it was in some murder mystery.
Another question here. Everyone has this is from Brittany. Everyone has bad days at work when you just don't want to. How do you guys handle doing shows or being on the radio on days where you don't feel like being funny, social, or acting like you give a shit? That is a great question. Rob, I'll defer to you
Well,
first.
sometimes that is a good vehicle for being funny. I mean, I remember when I was sort of on and off with this girl that totally fucking ruined me. And I remember going on stage one night thinking it was over, and just the fucking anger. It's actually the first time I met Seton Smith. He was new in
Oh,
comedy.
hell yeah.
He
John
went on-
Mulaney's opening.
Yes, and he had just started, and I saw him, and I was like, "That guy's got something." Then he saw me go up there, and we instantly became friends because I had this fucking anger about that, and that channeled this really good comedy. So there is a certain, man, why the fuck am I even here? If you're that mode, that could be
Yeah.
funny. Like, you're on the radio, traffic. It's gonna be traffic. Who cares? That could be a joke. Just your attitude. So I think people resonate with that. It's not like we have to like show up and do customer service and be happy and cheery. You
Yeah.
can be angry.
You don't have some
and be in a mood, and that can
overlord
still be
making
funny.
sure you're positive. Yeah. We actually have a job where being kind of shitty is allowed as
right.
long as we reach the end goal of somehow trying to make it
Mhm.
funny. The very first night I ever did stand up, Frasier's on the App, 2004, June 10th. I had just gotten let go from a radio station that flipped format for the fourth time. That's a bit I always tell about going on a night of karaoke and
Mhm.
going on stage and doing what I thought was stand up. Not great, being yelled at by the guy that ran it.
Mhm.
Introduced me to Jim Meyer, goes, come back here on a Sunday when they do that comedy shit. And I just kind of ran it back next time. Same thing. I was all fired up
Yeah.
about something. Someone was like, oh shit, that was
Yeah.
funny. I'd love to say that stuff about my boss.
And radio is different because you can actually be in a bad mood and you can still
Yeah.
here's the thing. And I've definitely gotten upset on the air
Yeah, same.
with other people. I've done it,
Mhm.
but you're still having a conversation. And even if you're upset with somebody,
That's still compelling.
it's still, you don't want it to be that way. It's not always
But if
great.
it's organic,
But
it's
even
organic.
if I'm not in a great mood, I can still talk.
Yeah.
Right. I can still have a conversation. I'm not one, and that might be just a Joe Robinson trait because a lot of people like to just sit there and not talk at all.
Right.
But me, I just like to talk. So even if I'm in a bad mood, it's not gonna change. It might change what I say, but it's not going to change me wanting to talk.
Of all the jobs to have what we do, I think it's easier to come to work in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Like if
now-
you're a server, you're waiting, you have to get tips.
exactly.
Like you kind of have to be
Right.
nice and cheery and put on a good face.
If you're a suicide hotline counselor, got to put on a big, bright smile.
Speaking of that, Jeff Hancock, how about turning "Here's Why You're Wrong" into a murder-suicide mystery? And
Yeah.
Max says, any plans to convert "Blame the Victim" into a murder mystery? Blame the Victim, the script I wrote, the screenplay with Andy Klein, Mike Payne, Chad Heft, and that Mike Chamberlain read and
Read it?
actually gave it a good
I
review.
loved it. He read it and he goes, "I got to tell you something. It's excellent."
I'm
now,
telling you, it's fucking hell.
one
holds
other
up.
thing, Mike Chamberlain also came to our second ever murder mystery at Blues Bistro.
Oh my God, I remember that.
And he said
wasn't
that's
there
the worst thing I've
issues.
ever seen.
It was dog shit. I mean,
Well,
it really.
we did have, there was tech issues. It was.
Yeah, we didn't even have a.
Right.
We didn't. Have, they said they'd have TVs.
Do you remember where we performed at that venue? We're in the lobby.
Yeah.
On near the foyer where
Yes.
people like wait to get seated.
Do you remember? Let me tell you something else. The guy who did sound for us, Bill.
Yeah.
He also worked at a comedy club, which I think he doesn't anymore. So I can tell this. He worked at the Baltimore Comedy Factory. The room said that they had a sound system. I get there. They go, we don't have a sound system. He had his fiance run to the Baltimore Comedy Factory, take a sound system from them.
Took equipment and brought it back.
And by the way, the Baltimore Comedy Factory was not happy with us, as if you can remember that.
Yeah. We never got to do a lot of murder mysteries there.
No. They brought that sound equipment back. We set it up and we did that show at Blues Bistro with their sound equipment
and fucking bomb still. So instead of us bombing quietly, we got to bomb loudly.
It's especially with the murder mystery, you kind of need to have all the working tech stuff.
The conditions need to be met. You deal with that all the time for Office Trivia. The conditions need to be met.
Absolutely.
You know what else happened that night? That night was Steve Huber's party.
I remember we got done with that and then went over there and got wrecked up. Pam asks, what are the chances of a DLP Halloween party?
Just come to Magoobies on the 26th, I believe.
That'll
October 26th, Saturday night.
That'll be our party.
We'll hang out at Witt's afterwards.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time.
We'll be all dressed up. I'll wear a fucking alien outfit.
Jared says, if for some reason your co-hosts can no longer do the podcast and you replace them with anyone to keep doing the podcast, who would they be? I guess if one of us is out for whatever reason, like is gone permanently.
Does one of us die? By the way, think about that with the murder mystery, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what happens? I mean, I'm 55 years old.
We need to start hiring.
How long am I going to do?
I'm hanging on by a thread emotionally.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there's only characters have to make sense. So at some point, it's like.
And Rob's going to get cast in the new, Feige movie with Keckner. So, I mean, Sean Gabbert lives too far away. Sean lives way in DC.
You talking about for the podcast?
I'm thinking just sticking with podcast.
I mean, it would probably be the Eric or Tommy.
Eric or Tommy. And
Katie.
I'm going to guess
Katie.
Katie's going to be, well, she's going to throw herself in the grave and demand dirt be piled on top of her. She needs to spend eternity with you like an Egyptian cat. I would probably guess Tommy because Eric, father of two.
He's also the farthest.
He's the farthest away.
Furthest.
Eric likes to get out.
El dente. He loves getting out. Erica loves him getting out. Get the fuck out of the house. So I'd have a feeling it would probably be Eric could be the one seat if Katie wasn't in your mausoleum.
I'll ask a question. We want to major league this, meaning the owner wants to sabotage the team so that they're last place, and so one of us leaves. The other two want to replace them with the person that will ensure that the podcast ends. It does so poorly. Who are you picking? Am I giving the softball?
Chris for Steve.
Don't estimate who I'd pick.
Okay.
Okay.
It would definitely be Chris for Steve.
Podcast whisperer.
There is actually
there's
one episode of the Chris for Steve show. One. And then it was, I guess, rebooted for Patreon Palooza.
Yes,
with Eric Woodworth.
Okay,
I'll ask him about that later this week when I see him.
It's 3 people
because I'm going to see him.
We have to have a cast of 3.
I can't wait.
We want to ruin all our brands, so it's Restivo, Mike Chamberlain, because I just love that wouldn't work.
And you mean those two together?
Yeah, so we need a third.
And Scott Apple.
And these are some deep cuts.
Bill the DJ.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people we know that would be back.
You need to take this thing quick. Okay. Yes, it's the Smiths podcast. Right. I mean, he'd absolutely just kill this thing. Who is the God? I don't.
Brittany says Restivo and RuPaul. We get RuPaul. Restivo. Hey, Restivo and RuPaul. But show title.
Yeah, okay. That's hilarious. Who was the girl? Actually, don't say their name because I don't even want to candy man her through the goddamn mirror.
Right.
Remember you had a fill in at the DC Improv? She looked like a fucking frog.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be the person. I'd be like, let's just destroy this show.
Okay.
Right.
What about there was
Steve,
a girl?
I'm just thinking, Restivo and RuPaul. How do you come up with that?
I remember we did a show. It was at the Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And Rob had a girl, and we were having Rob had a girl that was filling in. And remember, we were having a conversation with her.
Oh, she
started acting so strange. And I go,
what are you doing?
And she goes, oh, I thought we were doing improv.
We're in the fucking stairwell. I remember we're in the stairwell.
I know that girl. That was a mistake. There was a time when I didn't realize that if you don't have someone that's good, you can just make that an audience role. And then you don't have to pay them. And if they're bad, it doesn't matter because it's the audience role.
Funny.
And you don't have to email them and talk to them and rehearse. And it's really idiotic. We really could do the show with just Justice, basically. And Eric gets naked and Katie's hot.
We got a funny one. Are you looking at Ariel's?
No, I was looking at Max saying, what about Max at his wife and Restivo together?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Ariel, who might be on one, she might be on 10 milligrams tonight.
I love
A
it.
genie with traffic guy Tony Thornton's voice appears and gives you the ability to fill a bowl with anything. What's in it?
Fill a bowl.
A bowl with anything.
I mean, my first thought is $100 bills.
I would say
right?
diamonds.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Fill
better.
with diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything more valuable? But
Some
uranium.
rare earth metal.
Knowledge. Knowledge is better.
I don't want to acknowledge that.
Fuck.
No,
knowledge.
diamonds is much better than $100.
I wish I was rich and dumb. Yeah, I would go diamonds.
All right.
All that.
Would-
or small little printouts of pictures of her butt cheeks.
Let's say you have
Yes.
diamonds. What
Yeah.
would you do with them?
Go to a
Where'd you
pawn
get?
shop.
what every area wants.
I was thinking about that because, like, I remember if you had to buy crack,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say out
Oh,
loud. Who would
that's
you go
what I'd
to?
fill
Yeah.
it with. Crack. Okay. No, that's actually my new pick. I would fill it with crack. I'd fill it with pure Fent and walk around to so many people I know and say, after dinner mint.
Texas Longhorn rolls. That's
Yeah.
what I would do. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Right.
The hairs that Joe, Katie's
They
hairs that
said
Joe
not
pulls out his
that
ass.
kind of bowl. So, yeah. Joe's bowl would be filled with hand soap, says Mac.
Oh my God. Another one. You have 47 minutes to live. Which drug are you using and why?
Oh, heroin.
47
Heroin.
minutes?
47 minutes to live. That is so specific.
Well, I'll
yeah,
tell you why
why
heroin. I'll tell you why heroin.
How are you dying? You're just dying? And
From the heroin.
there's no pain or just
Oh, can I
you just
prevent it?
ending?
No. We're my life. I know I have 47 minutes to live.
Okay.
And I watch, and you guys watch Intervention.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to drink during it. It makes me
Mhm.
feel powerful.
I feel better where I'm at.
successful.
I've never shot up heroin.
I'm not jacking off anybody in an alley for keyboard duster.
Right. But I see these people and they will fuck anyone.
Mhm.
They will live anywhere.
Yep.
They will put themselves in whatever state in order to get that drug.
That sounds like my regular life, but without the heroin. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got to be an incredible
much.
drug.
it
Yeah.
does have to be for a little bit the most euphoric thing
Yeah,
you've ever.
so I think that what I would do is say, all right, I only have 47 minutes. It's time. There actually is a show like that.
See, Brittany's saying
really?
acid. You see, you run the
No,
risk.
no.
You run the risk of having a real bad hallucination at the end. You
Yeah.
spend your final 47 minutes freaking out and
I've
thinking
never-
there's snakes on
I've
you.
never seen anybody
No.
shoot up and freak out. That's not, they usually just drift off into euphoria. But there's a Ricky Gervais show called Afterlife.
Yeah.
Is that what's called Afterlife?
Sure.
I think. But he finds out he's going to die, and so he just starts doing whatever the fuck he
Whatever
wants
the
to do,
shit he wants.
including heroin.
Including
Yeah,
heroin.
like, yeah, I'll just do whatever.
I would just have a nice thing of whiskey and then a good painkiller, Percocet or something.
And I'm like, one?
Well, I'll take one to start, you know.
I
It's
see.
just- yeah.
Brother,
I
was
fill
gonna-
my
got
bowl with them.
47 minutes. What
I
am I
was
going
up to 5 or 6
snort
a day.
them?
I was-
Inject them in my asshole?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
5 or 6
I mean, I'm not a
tens
big
got
drug
into it.
guy. That's
Yeah.
the best drug experience I've ever had is just you get sleep really well with
You know,
some
it's the
alcohol and
strongest drug I've ever
painkiller.
done.
Love.
Love.
Mac told me I got it wrong. Afterlife is his wife died, so then he didn't want to live. That's why he started doing whatever he wanted to do, including heroin. Sorry,
Hey,
Mac.
Next week, we've already recorded it, and I don't want to oversell, but it's fucking great.
I fucking loved it.
Eric Woodworth, known
Dude.
horrible speller,
Dude.
takes on his
This is
13-year-old
so
daughter. Is it
funny.
Jane? Is that her name?
Yes,
Yes.
Jane.
He takes on his daughter Jane in a spelling bee. We're gonna put some stuff on the socials to tease it. We're gonna hear the full thing next week. Let's get a little tease of one particular not so shining moment with our boy Eric.
Eric, the word is definitely. Definitely. Let's use it in a sentence. Dyslexics definitely spell better than Eric.
This one is, I'm not gonna lie, legitly my kryptonite. I think I've misspelled this word more than any other word in text or any other form. DIFIN.
Okay, just stop. You're not close. Okay. DI, are you out of your mind? Okay, no, wrong. Okay, go ahead.
How are you
It's stupid.
You haven't gotten one right.
She's a child, Eric. Give her a break. But Garrett, I promise you, by the time she reaches the 10th grade, she'll get all these.
It's
All right.
it's always been my dream to compete against a 13-year-old and win.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Man. I've look, definitely is one of my words that I struggle with.
But you get the first two left.
I've always gotten the first three. I've always gotten DEF.
Yes, because
yeah.
that's the thing. Okay, so definitely, everybody has a difficult time with definitely.
DEFINI.
I know it's
TELI.
finite. Finite is in there.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
finite.
So that's how you usually get it. But
Ariel says, wasn't Eric an athlete? His poor brain. I think there's other reasons.
You think it's CTEs. But here's the thing. If you can't spell definitely, what do you put in a text?
DEF.
Deaf.
Right.
Deaf. Oh,
Right.
most deaf.
So
Oh,
he
for
doesn't.
certain.
Yeah.
He apparently is writing diff.
Yeah.
He's writing diff.
He
The
loved
second letter.
the Deaf Comedy Jam. DIF.
Yeah.
The diff comedy. Jam.
Yeah.
I learned sign language. She's deaf. Yeah. That's hilarious. But hey, we have one from Katie. We have one from Katie. If you could trade lives with anyone on the show, who would it be?
I'm the one trading lives with.
I think Rob gets to pick a new life. You get to pick a new life. I get to pick a new.
Okay.
I pick Rob.
All
Yeah,
right.
I also pick
I
Rob.
pick Rob. Yes,
I
immediately.
have two choices. One has 3 kids at home and a 21-year younger hot wife, and the no, one has 3 kids at home and one has 0 kids at home.
Have you not answered
I'm gonna
already?
go Joe. I'm gonna go Joe.
No one wants. what I
I'm
go
taking
through.
Joe's life.
No one.
Hey, and I asked this question, and there's a new episode of LCA, Laughs County, where there was a strap match with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, where they are literally tied to a strap, a 10-foot long strap. And we asked on that episode, and we can ask you now, Joe,
Yeah.
if you had to for a year, 10-foot strap, you're together the whole
Right.
time.
Yep.
Now, obviously, you could say you're right, but you'd get divorced. You wouldn't survive it. So
I think you're wrong
she
about
would-
that.
I don't know.
And maybe she could, but
Katie would not pick you.
if the strap is 10 feet,
10 feet.
right? Then I don't. Even if you go to the bathroom, you can close the
Right
door.
outside the door.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can.
you're going with them.
I mean, I. Who else could it be?
You're sleeping with
I
them.
can't have Restivo with me in bed.
What
right?
about one of your
That was my
kids?
pick. Yeah.
I wouldn't want my kids there either.
What about Gramps?
No, 100%. I would not pick.
Who do you
Gramps.
think I picked?
I listened.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
It hurt my feelings. No, but no, and that made sense,
it
right?
did make sense. Yeah,
You pick
I love the
Rob.
idea that I'm on stage with this guy strapped to me. And
No,
I'm
he's
just-
off to the
Isn't
side.
he great?
Yeah.
He's great, right?
Yeah. No,
His act
definitely,
outs are shit because he's kind of tethered, but
I would definitely pick my wife. Hey, did you see this other one from Katie? What celebrity would you cast for each of your own roles in your DLP agenda movie?
I go Charlie Day, Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I would
Yeah.
go, and I just because when I was at my best looking, somebody in my driver improvement class said this, and I said, "Well, you're a 17-year-old hot chick, and I like that." Greg Kinnear.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, but
I see that.
I gotta
Yeah.
think about. I remember when I was younger, people said I look like Jerry Seinfeld,
Okay.
Mm.
and as I got older, people said I look like Chris Elliott.
Yeah,
So that's one of
Chris
them.
Elliott. It is
One of
Yeah.
them, but Chris Elliott is really funny.
Who do we cast as Katie?
It's Chris.
Emmy Rossum from
From Shameless.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
that
that's a
would
good
be the
casting.
one.
Right,
Yeah.
some chick with
Here's
a bad
why you're
attitude.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, hello.
Mhm.
Jared says, "Here's my murder mystery idea." And you kind of had this idea, Justin. Great idea. We didn't follow up. Dial Productions presents Murder at Mania, a wrestling murder mystery.
Yeah,
If
I
you want
bet
to change it to baseball or football, more people would work. We do have that ring up in Havre de Grace.
we got the
that thing you would
CZW
do.
ring. I
Yeah.
had two ideas for one: a wrestling theme one and a boy band theme one.
Boy
Oh,
band
yeah.
one, we've talked it out a little bit, and even have a name and a logo. So that's
Yeah.
more close.
That
to
might actually
happening.
happen. I wouldn't mind a wrestling one, but that's going to
Mm-hmm.
fit in the same slot that Superhero Homicide did.
Yeah, girls won't like
They're
it.
not going,
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of guys that think it's too dorky. I mean, really, it's a little
Yeah.
niche. As much
It's
as I
just a
love doing
one-off, though.
it would maybe
But
as
if
a one-off.
we got paid enough money, we'd
or
do it.
if we booked it around when Mania is in
Yes.
Vegas and there's 1,000
Well,
little indie
Vegas is
shows.
a good spot. There's a million places to
Hey,
do
what was
that.
the hypothetical we did with the midshipmen? I'm trying to remember what it was. Remember we went out. We
You
had
guys play the up and back game with them?
we
Mhm.
did not play.
You're
Hey,
Admiral.
Hey, our new midshipman.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Our new midshipman is a quarterback on the Navy.
Yeah, he's going to.
He's
do
on
well
the
in his
travel
life.
team.
Yeah,
He's not some guy. He's on the
I
travel
forgot
team.
our hypothetical.
Yeah, I
we
forgot
talked
what it
about
was.
music, was it?
Maybe Kato remembers.
Katie
some
goes,
type of-
what amount of money per person would it take for you to have to take Restiva with you everywhere, 24/7, sleeps with you, eats with you,
He
dresses
sleeps
you,
with me.
needs rides
I'm showering
from
with
you.
him.
Mhm.
Well, no, I think he's just in the maybe. I don't know. I mean, that would be fun. Well, you have to ask Katie because she's got a.
Yeah.
It's really two of you. I mean,
Free hat.
Eric would. Yeah, Eric would do it for free. Okay. All right, I'm going to be serious here. How much money would
Is
it
it
take?
is it indefinitely? Or
Like
one
when
year?
I go on the road, am I paying for his
I
ticket?
gotta
guess?
stop for a second. Is it 1 year or is it forever?
No, it's does it say here? Oh, she says forever. Yeah.
I can't. The
No.
no,
Yeah,
amount of
forever.
money.
There's
No,
no,
no.
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
not.
you
Let's
can't
do
do
it for a year.
One
Okay.
year.
Mhm.
I still miss that hypothetical about getting to dress
Katie
like the
says.
Macho Man.
Katie
for a
said,
year.
"Let's say 1 year." All right.
1 year.
$1 million, maybe less actually. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, because does he live with you?
Mhm.
And when you go on the road, he doesn't have to go on stage with you. He just is waiting for you in the green room.
he'll
Yeah.
be sitting side stage,
But I'm gonna have to pay his way and stuff, and I
strapped
have to
you.
explain why he's there. I
You-
mean, all right, I'd do it for less.
Now you say take with you. We're just saying bring with. There's no straps or
Okay.
anything.
You
Just,
do it
just
for
on
less.
the road.
Yeah.
Every meal you have, he has to. He's eating with you.
So you're banking a lot of money without really changing your. I mean,
Do you have to pay for his food?
yeah,
He
I would
doesn't eat a lot. You
guess.
kidding me?
Right.
Look at the size of him. What's
He-
he,
What if we
Great.
become
fucking
great
Pop-Tart a
friends?
day? Right?
What if we fall in love? Yeah. You know, all right. I actually 500,000.
It's more for me.
I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him later this week when I see him
I mean, you think about this.
because I'm gonna.
You see him every day, but it's a lot. That's a lot of money to just pocket.
Feel free to text me.
Yeah.
I
motherfucker.
know
Mhm.
that,
I'll
but
see you
every
later this
day.
week.
Hey, when Katie and I are on the couch watching Judge Judy, Restivo's there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Asking all kinds of
Does
dipshit
he get to-
What's your
questions.
number, Katie? Did she say a number?
Does he go to his own room? Does he just? He's always right by
No,
me.
he sleeps in your bed. Yes.
He can never be away from me.
Yes, he's in your room. No, he has his own room.
I move into
Yeah.
a studio apartment and
Yeah.
start a same-sex relationship
Mm.
with someone just so he has to smell the hot, sweaty dude on dude. in
If
there.
I go on a road trip, he goes. But if
Katie
I'm
goes 6 million, not a penny less.
6 million,
I'll see if I
huh?
can do it.
Mhm.
He
When's-
doesn't sleep in your bed. Does
No,
he
no.
sleep? Okay.
He
Oh,
just
then I'm
lives
out.
with you. He
No,
lives-
no,
I'm out.
no.
When
He sleeps
is-
at the foot of my bed like a little stupid dog.
When is
Like
the
a
DLP?
hairless little borderline blind dog.
Hey, what if you're like that guy who got the breasts and then he just kept them afterwards for
Just
another?
kept the tips.
I
that's
just kept
me
the
with
receiver.
Restivo.
Hey,
Yeah.
the year's up. Yeah, just stick around.
Okay.
Yeah, I got money to spend now. When is the DLP golf outing? I would love to make that happen. That's a good idea. I don't know how we can do that though.
You can just ask Rob to play golf. He'll do
Eric
that.
Diaz says wants to play CME pod. You sound cool. Which DLP person, says Katie, would you pick to make all your decisions for you forever starting tomorrow? Like what to eat? Like every decision?
Every
I'm a-
decision. Every decision.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I don't know. Everybody here's got some pros and cons. Oh man.
I mean, what big decisions do you have coming up? Joe, you're out of big decisions.
it's a big
I mean,
decision.
it's like you have to
Tuesday.
decide like raising the kid or
Yeah, yeah.
you're already
But I'm
married.
making decisions for her. I'm saying,
Yeah.
oh, here's what. Oh, your job. This is what you should do at like big decisions.
Yeah, but like
where are we going?
I'm saying you
vacation?
would have the less big decisions going forward, I would think.
right, but I'm making them for her.
Right, but I'm saying if to someone to make them for you isn't as big
no,
of an ask.
yeah, no,
Because you're not like, for me, it'd be like, do I marry this girl? Do I move here? Do I take this gig? Do I do this?
True.
You're just like gonna do whatever Katie makes you do. So
That's already happening right,
right.
now.
So like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
decisions I'm asking you actually now, do you make any decisions ever in your life?
Yeah, the answer is probably Rob. I mean,
Yeah.
Rob does live sort of
Yeah.
autonomously. I am sort of at the whim of family and work, and you are your own boss because
Yeah.
of what you do. So you don't have a family to answer to. You don't have a boss to answer to. You make the best decisions because you have to.
Yeah.
In my life, I mean, I basically, for every hour of every day, I was talking about this with Joe earlier, is accounted for. The minute I
Yeah.
wake up, I don't have a single free hour of any day of
That's
any
right.
week.
When you leave here, you're going to go home. You're going to go
I'm
to
gonna
bed.
do
You're
a
going to wake up the
thing.
next day. You're
Yeah.
going to go to work.
Like if anybody, you have to have brain damage to ask me day of if I'd like to do something
Mhm.
suddenly.
And I
'Cause
know
just can't.
everything you're into. I know what you want to watch. You want what you want to play the video game.
Yeah.
I think I would be, but I would. Who would I ask? Who's going to make my decisions? I guess Joe. I think Joe.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, because Katie will sort of help you.
Can we pick Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Katie.
Okay.
Steph says Rob can
Katie.
decide everything for me. Well, hello.
Really?
there.
All right. Yeah, I go
Carrie
Katie.
would pick. A lot of people are picking me. Thank
Mhm.
you. Katie picks herself. Definitely Rob. Brittany says Justin's decisions would be way too unhinged. Wow.
I don't think they'd be
Jesus.
terribly unhinged.
No, I think to be honest, we're all like,
Jesus Christ.
now I do get drunk, and then if you have a big decision and you catch me at the wrong time.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Here's a big
what?
decision. If you need to buy tickets to my comedy show,
Oh, no.
November 30th,
Mhm.
just fucking buy them.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
This comes
Can't
up in the
read that.
Patreon
Yeah, it
quite
does.
a bit.
It does.
This comes up in the Patreon.
Yeah.
People just not able to mouse, click,
Mhm.
card, enter, buy, go. And if you were able to pull that off, know that you're way ahead of the pack.
Which-
Someone that should know better is asking me some. I can't do this.
just
again.
understand that this is a very important thing for Justin. He needs to have all his focus and attention
Just buy the tickets.
on doing comedy.
Just buy the tickets.
Katie goes, which listener would you let live with you rent free for a year? I actually have a good answer here because he's the only person that's ever spent the night in my apartment. He loves to play golf. He's got a job, so he's going to be out doing his thing.
Mhm.
He's a fun guy. Scott Berkson.
Scott Bergson.
That's his living with
That's a good pick.
Good, fun dude. Easy hang. We have similar interests.
I would go with a guy who actually lobbied to be my friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
I said no.
big mistake.
However, I love this guy, and I did have him over to my house.
Yes.
He's had me over to his house. He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of contributing members.
Oh yes, he's
from the fan
definitely
base,
big time.
the great Dave Dennis.
That's a very good answer.
Dave Dennis is another good pick. God, I'm so torn. If I
Ooh.
could Frankenstein some people together to
Katie
make
has
one.
a good answer.
Oh, Katie said, "Oh, Randolph is real."
Yeah, Ariel.
good.
Sorry, I gave Ariel's the one that had the credit for that. So.
I might pick. I don't know, the supportive nature of a Steph, the wrestling fan and a shoemake, the gamer and a Dave Dennis. There's just everybody's got these great the fine smoking products of a one Mac Birdson,
the breasts of a
the butt cheeks of an Ariel, and the big yabos of a God, it's too hard to pick. I'm gonna cry. Go Dave Dennis.
It's a good answer.
Dave and
Video
I are
games.
a lot alike.
Yeah, you
Dave
really
and I are
yeah.
a lot alike. But no, that's a real difficult choice for me because there's a lot of you I would definitely save from a fire before I
Yeah.
did blood relatives of
Joe,
mine.
you didn't pick Mac Bergson. He's very happy about that.
Yeah, no, he doesn't want to live
No,
with me.
no
yes.
chance he does. No chance.
I
he does.
couldn't. My ego couldn't take it.
Yeah,
It's being
Yeah, just be
berated
shitting on
all
you
day,
constantly.
every day.
Okay, Mac.
All
The
day.
first 18,000 times it was funny.
God,
we
it-
get it. Yeah,
Or
I-
maybe Kenny. Kenny's a friend
Dave
of
will
ours.
love you too.
The Strangle Chef. He is a jiu-jitsu practitioner that
Yeah.
can keep me safe, and
No,
he's
wait.
a world star. He's
Are
a
you guys
world
good
renowned-
again?
We've made not only have
Okay.
we made up, we've
All right.
fallen in love,
Good.
and he cooks his ass off.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm going to be eating like a
Oh,
king, and
that's
he can save me
strong.
from stupid questions.
If I
Yeah.
could bring anyone back to life, it would be the great Mike Klein, Eric the actor. He
Mhm.
would be in our chat before you were with the show, Justin, and he would just roast Rob nonstop.
Yeah.
However,
God, it was brutal.
one thing that was funny is Rob told us Mike Klein's story on Track Off.
I did. Yes.
We were talking about the song "She's Out of My Life" by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And he said he got upset. Mike Klein got upset with his mom, and he went into his room and he took his boom box and he played that song.
He put it
over.
right in front of her
He put it
door.
in front of her
Yeah.
door and played
Yeah.
played it
Yeah.
over.
Apparently,
over.
apparently they and the mom didn't get along. Katie with some more good questions. Which guy do you want giving your eulogy at your funeral?
Hmm.
All right, I will say this: having been to your stepmother's funeral, and seeing you speak, I was very impressed with your speech. It was poignant. You got a little emotional.
Mhm,
You spoke from the heart.
I was getting high in the parking
It
lot.
was I thought it was fabulous. Like I thought if hey, if I had to like point, you could say, tell me about this Joe guy and give me 4 videos. One of you doing stand up, one of just us bullshitting. That would be one of the 4 things.
Oh, that's
the kinda
cool.
guy.
Thank you, man.
So I
appreciate
picked
that.
Justin.
Yeah. so I picked Justin.
No, I
Well,
picked Joe.
well, the truth is that if I died, you guys would both speak at my funeral.
Yeah, I think
I
we-
might-
it's
the
like-
better question is,
I
who's
might-
about to speak at Joe's funeral?
I might have a gig with Kat.
Yeah, so you might not be there that week, so you might go to me by default.
Yeah.
I'm going to piggyback what
But
you
you
said.
both would be great though. By the way.
Yeah,
You
we would
be
both
great. Yeah.
strike a balance
Yeah.
between genuine memories, love of friends, something lighthearted. I think I
Eric
would
was
also
great
pick
at
Joe.
Jeremy's, so I can.
I didn't
speak
get to hear
that
it.
too. Yeah. After
Dude,
the,
I feel
after
so
the 30
bad.
minutes of abortion is wrong.
Have you
by
seen the photo? Have you seen,
preachers. Yeah.
have you seen this photo, by the way? And, you know, no one laughs harder
Yeah.
at stuff than
Hey, real
Eric
quick. Ariel says Katie is making Joe's arrangements right in front of him.
Oh, I don't know if I have this picture. I took a photo in front of Jeremy Woodworth's casket with a comedian, Mike Quinlan, who brought
Yeah.
a bottle of booze.
Oh yeah.
And we took a funny photo, and Jeremy's body is right
Yes,
behind it.
I've seen it.
And Mike has used that to promote shows. And he's like, me and this guy this weekend. And I'm like, does Eric know about this? I don't know if he does.
No.
He knows now.
Well, Eric is
Does
the only one.
Does the
Eric,
Woodworth estate? Never
Yeah.
I
mind.
promise you, Eric is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of
he's
those where
totally
it's like,
fine with
okay.
But
good.
most normal people would
Yeah.
not.
No,
be okay
there'd
with
be a
it.
thing. It is still his dear
Mm.
brother. But and again, him and Quinlan are tight, and Quinlan's great. But
Yeah.
I did get that. It
That's
was
a
like,
good bit.
would you like to share the story? I was like, no, I
Yeah.
will not share that story.
Just so I if I had to pick one, it would be Joe.
I picked Joe.
But I think you're both. Then you get to decide.
No,
Your
I
answer.
really, as honest as I can be.
You have to
Hey,
pick one.
don't fuck it up, man. I'm
Oh,
right here.
man.
I'll just
I mean,
think about this.
Rob
the
was
whole
I'm not
drive
gonna
best
home.
try
man
to
at my
make it
wedding.
about
Justin
me.
is one of my closest friends. I swear, I'm not trying to get out of it, but if I died, you both would speak at my wedding. I mean, you would both speak at my funeral.
It's
Yeah.
a funeral slash
We both
wedding.
would.
Yes.
But who headlines?
Come on,
Oh,
be honest.
nice.
Come on, just seriously. The question was asked
Man,
by
I
your wife.
guess
we all said
it
one
would. I guess it
person.
would have to be Rob.
It would be. That's
Yes.
the better of the
Yeah,
two
yeah,
picks.
yeah,
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 if you
yeah.
picked me,
Yeah.
that was going to be a pity fuck.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You absolutely should have Rob's.
Pam, as we're wrapping it up here, how long have you all been friends? Well, not anymore, all of us.
Yeah.
And how did it start? Well, Joe and we met at the Baltimore Comedy Factory.
Yeah.
You were emceeing. I was featured. Do you remember who was headlining?
I think it was Tom Rhodes.
That sounds right.
Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, sorry, Justin. he's going to speak
I
at
believe
Justin's
I
funeral.
believe it was Tom
I
Rhodes.
mean, this guy had good taste in pussy. I should know.
But we became friends, and I don't even.
We hit it off pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Our comedy, we are same comedy
we had the
sensibilities.
same interests too.
Yes.
And just I don't even remember who I met first, and I know that I probably met Justin at like Jillian's or something
I
like
probably
that.
met you at Wise.
But you and I
But-
first broke bread
Yeah.
at that Little Italy gig.
That's the first time we worked together. But I remember the first time we kind of became friends was over
Kimbo Slice.
Over Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo
Yeah.
Slice, Baltimore
Yeah,
Comedy
yeah.
Factory.
He brings people together.
You were the only other comedian that I knew about Mr. Get That Bread. And you and I connected over a gigantic, terrifying, bare knuckle, black back alley
God rest
fighter.
his soul.
God
Yeah.
rest in peace. One of the greatest
gone
ever
too
do it.
soon.
Fucking people up repeatedly, hitting people so hard that their eyes popped out of the socket.
Yeah.
Him fighting two dudes back to back. Did you ever see the one where he fought the cop in the basement?
Oh,
That's the
you mean
rarest
the one
one.
he
I
there's
like
one
it.
he lost. You talking about against the MMA guy? There's one. Is that
No, he
is that
won the
that one?
basement
He
brawl,
bought,
right?
he
Yeah.
won the basement one
Yeah.
against he fought a cop while surrounded by other cops.
That sounds
It's
familiar.
Horrifying.
It sounds
Is
familiar.
that- for all the other ones, it was like a home game for him.
Yeah.
That was the only one you looked at like this is an away game
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're surrounded by a bunch of, I'm gonna guess if they're doing this, not the most reputable police
No,
officers.
yeah.
not at
And
all.
you see one of their boys going down. It's not a 0% chance that they don't dive in, and he gets the better of them. And it's like the beginning of End of Watch of Jake Gyllenhaal. He kept a gangster, but that one is the most stressful Kimbo Slice. But that's where you and I met. I met you at the Baltimore Comedy Factory.
Okay.
You were featuring, I think, for Timmy Hall,
That's very possible.
and
a lot of those gigs were repeats.
I had
Yeah.
heard. It's funny, I heard about
Oh no.
I had heard about you prior to seeing you, that you had at the time 2004 2005. Way with the ladies.
Yeah, had a reputation.
I
Someone
don't
might have
remember
said,
that.
"Hey, keep your hoe away from him.
Wow.
That guy is charismatic." I think someone might have referred to you
Yeah.
as charismatic.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
charismatic.
bit of a cocksmith.
Yeah.
I'd heard, and I was like,
Yeah.
I need to know him.
Yeah.
Teach me your ways.
Charisma. That's
Yeah.
me.
And then later that night, you just fell clean through a table.
Yeah.
And shattered a couple of bottles in the air. No, that was many years later. But yeah, we met
But
at the
I
Comedy
did it.
Factory.
I did it charismatically.
It was
Yes.
beautiful. Charismatically fell.
Katie says Rob has Riz.
Riz Mayer.
Oh,
That might be
God.
a show title.
I love that.
Riz
That's
Mayer.
better than Restivo RuPaul. Yeah,
Yeah,
we can't
that-
have Restivo in it.
or
Sorry, Brittany.
Jiz
Good
Schlegel.
name,
Yeah,
yes.
when people listen. Yeah.
Hey,
Riz Mayer. Like,
what if in honor at your funeral, I'm gonna get really drunk, just the Baltimore Comedy Factory, and I want the Mike Cord will come out I'll do 20 minutes too long, and I'll fall. At
You
the
fall
end.
into
Fall into the
casket.
Fall
casket.
into the casket.
It slams. I
Yeah,
lower it.
exactly.
I rule the show.
Right.
I take over. Eric, Tommy,
Right.
and the Patreons come piling in. Speaking of which, we got a bunch of great new shows. Track Off's up. Dork Dynasty, a new episode coming out within a week.
New
Laughs Count
Patreon
Anywhere.
we just recorded.
New Patreon
DLP
we just
Patreon.
recorded.
The
That's
next
great.
Here's Why You're Wrong is The Princess Bride.
Hell
If anybody's
yeah.
interested in that, yeah.
Shit,
Fucking
yeah.
massive.
What a legendary Mandy Patinkin, absolutely crushed it.
Patinkin,
Christopher Guest,
Patinkin?
Mandy
Mandy
Patinkin.
Patinkin.
Is it Patinkin?
I think it's
Patinkin.
Patinkin.
By the way, Pandy Patinkin, who had an album where he sang Jewish hymns called Mama Lotion. The only reason
Hey.
I know that is we put it on sale for $1 at Borders Books and Music. No one bought it.
That
was there for
won't be on
years.
Track Off.
It will not be
It's
on
Manny
Track Off.
Patinkin and NXS.
Mandy, that pussy been stanking. But everybody that's been subscribing to the Patreon, thank you so much. And again, from the bottom of my heart, everybody that's purchased tickets already,
Thank
the November
you.
30th Chaos Theory comedy special, and sent me pictures of your receipt and pictures of the order confirmations. You humble a guy and you make me feel very, very appreciated. So 6:30, 9:30, we'll record it that day. Our buddy Ryan from Air Bear Productions is going to chop it
yeah.
up the very next day, and it's going to be coming out on Christmas Day.
And next week, Eric Spelling Bee versus daughter, and then on the 17th,
I promise you that will not disappoint.
It's
That's
and
spelling
awesome.
bee.
on the 17th, the Katie Cup. Who knows Katie the best? Later.
Later.
See ya.